What is up, guys? We are back for another edition of the Bird Speedrun. This is day number 29. We gotta get it going. We're 12:13. I want to end today on 12:50. It's really time to go.
Time to go now.
We gotta get it moving. We gotta get playing the chess. Bishop c4. We're still seeing this quite a lot. Certainly not a good move. Play knight f6. If knight c3, maybe even knight takes e4, but yeah, that's always a little risky. Sorry, no, knight c3, knight takes e4, they would take d5 and bishop b5 check. That won't work. We'll just play e6 here. Trying to throw the pawn forward to d5. I've been getting this system pretty much all the time as of late. It's everyone's favorite system here. If he castles now, I'm taking on e4. He can only leave it hanging for that long. All right, that's what he does. Let's take. And what to do here? I don't know what's going on, honestly. This is quite strange. Yeah, what am I gonna do here? What am I going to do here? I really want to put my queen on c7, but the problem is then he plays knight b5. Have I gotten bamboozled into a worse Taimanov? Could this really be? I think I'm worse here. If I play a6, he's going to take and play e5, and that's also a little uncomfortable. I'm not sure exactly what I should be doing here. I guess I'm going to play queen b6. The idea is I'm attacking this knight. If he takes, I can take with the queen, and I have some pressure. Perhaps it's okay. Yeah, this Taimanov structure is always very dangerous, and you're supposed to be very intentional about when you place this knight out on f6, because if you place it there too soon, takes an e5, hits you like a bolt from the blue. All right, can I just take on e4? Yeah, let's take on e4 now. It's time to go. Takes, he takes there, I play d5. He is in some trouble. And by he is in some trouble, I mean the game is just equal now. Which is better than the game being much worse for myself. Here I don't really know what he's going to do. If bishop d3 I take, bishop takes, I could play queen b4 check. He has to play knight d2. Very ugly position there. But at the same time, my queen is sort of weird. His knight is sort of weird. Strange setup we got going on. Really strange position. Okay, I'll take back. The moment I'm down a pawn, but you know, my bishops are very lively now. My bishops are vivacious. I learned that word for the SATs, and I'm going to be using it 15 years later. Yeah, that's bananas. 14 years ago, I was taking the SATs. Yeah. Spring of 2010, also fall of 2010. Why I took the SATs, I really have no idea. I do not use my college degree for anything. I use my college degree to, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole of should I gone to college or not, but suffice it to say, it didn't make much sense for how my life turned out. All right, here, bishop c4 actually looks fantastic. It just slices through everything. Slicing through like a slice of pizza. Bishop c4 looks good. I mean, my issue with rook d8 is that they play queen e2. And, yeah, I'm not sure I really have anything there. Let's try bishop c4. A little bit loose being that far out in the position, but the idea is that I'm going to quickly be able to follow up with bishop b4, rook d8, and put white's pieces under enormous pressure. Okay, he goes there. Let's throw a check in. Let's ask the big questions. Gotta ask the big questions and the important question. c3. I'm on the verge of losing, but luckily I can just keep making threats. This is a pretty bonkers position, if I may say so myself. I don't know what's happening. He plays bishop d2, I play bishop d3. He takes a piece, I castle. Of course I could take the knight there, but I don't want to take the knight. I think my bishop slices through everything. Bishop slices through everything like a slice of pizza. Well, now my bishop slices through everything with the tempo. This definitely can't be good. This definitely cannot be good for him. Queen b2, I could take. He takes, and then I think a good move there would be queen b5, keeping the king marooned. But no, actually takes queen b5, queen e2. I can't play the natural bishop d3 there, unfortunately. I can't play the natural bishop d3 because I'm pinned. So what to do here? Well, the thing is that if he takes, I just take back with the knight, and knight c2 is an unbelievably strong threat. So I'm just going to castle here. I don't think he actually has anything to do in the meantime. If he plays bishop e3, bishop e3 would make some sense. If he plays bishop e3, I play queen a5. Then he has just a whole nother package of problems. Yeah, I'm down a piece here. It should be completely over, though. My bishop just slices through the whole board. His king is marooned in the center. This rook is obviously not getting into the game. Also has big issues with this knight here. Big issues with the problematic steed. Big old steed being problematic. Bishop e3. Let's play queen a5. Just line up. Line up to start taking some pot shots against the king. Already in this position, yeah, bishop e4 is still an issue. Knight c2 also an issue. His best move arguably is knight d2, but then I can play knight c2 and immediately start gaining back material while his king is left in the center. This is an unbelievably uncomfortable position for him. I don't know what he's going to do. I think he has to play knight d2. Okay, well, knight c3, the problem with that is that now he's not blocking the d-file at all. And the difference then is now these things are going to be so much more scary. King d1, I have a really interesting idea. I could play check. He takes, and I play queen a6, and I'm mating him. But the problem instead is that after king d1, bishop e2, he can just take or do this, and I don't have anything. It's better to stay patient. Yeah, weirdly enough, my bishop doesn't have almost anywhere to go, but I could go here and take and start winning a lot of material. I'm going to pick up this rook first. For my bishop to move at all, I would have had to just give away the knight, so it makes more sense to just go for this first. I'm going to check, take the pawn, and get a lot of material here. About to get a lot of goodies, either on f3 or h1. Yeah, this guy is probably a little suspicious about what's happening. Yeah, this is a wild position. I could definitely take here. I was thinking maybe I could play queen a3, queen b2, and rook d1 to try to disconnect the king, but he could take with the knight, and I don't have anything there. Let's just take the pawn. Keep it simple, everyone. 12-13, we're going up to 12-50. We got to make it happen. It's time to go.
FTV Claude, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked.
It's time to go!
Had a really productive day today. I taught 3 classes. I recorded a video. I edited a video. Recorded another video. Recording this video. Worked on my course. Really great day. I'm really hitting my stride here in the shack in Brazil. All right, so this is pretty interesting. I want to take... of course, he's being a bit sneaky. He wants to go for the checkmate. We are not going to let him go for the checkmate. I just need to push his king into some sort of firing line. I'm going to start with the check here. If his king goes here, he's blocking the queen, so then I could finally pick up the knight. Meanwhile, if he plays king b1, I can nudge his king in front of the queen. And he doesn't really have any other moves. My queen and bishop are covering these 2 other squares. So this guy's in a lot of trouble. All right, we'll just take here. King b2. Okay, perfect. Up to 12-22. Let's get it done. Let's get it going. I gotta get it moving. Actually, I have to go to a festival at 8 p.m. and it's 7:15. So I gotta keep my eye on the clock. For those who don't know, I have the phone which is recording me is right in front of the time. That's why I keep on trying to look above where it seems the camera is pointed, or the camera is pointing from. Got to keep my eye on the time. Okay, bishop b4 should not be good at all. Bishop b4, definitely not a good move. We can at least play a3 and get a free tempo. This is generally a somewhat useful move. b4 might be an option. I want to play b4 now. I'm not sure if I need to play b4 yet. I could play b4, bishop b6, and c4. Takes, bishop takes. That's an interesting position. Is it that good, though? I'm not sure if I need to force this bishop anywhere for the moment. Well, okay, look at this. If c4 takes, then he plays c5, and he actually has a decent grip on the position. I need to be careful about what structure I'm going for here. So for the moment, what should I do though, actually? C5 is going to be a little annoying. You know, I answered my question. The answer there was in the question. If he's been slow to play C5, so we play Rook G1 and G4 when he's slow to play C5. Okay, here, things are still getting a little tricky. I'd love to boot the knight out with D3, but at the moment the bishop is pinning. Come to think of it, actually, we do need to be a little bit careful here. I can play G4 though. Fortunately, Queen H4 is not checkmate. I'll bet you he's going to spend 2 minutes to try to figure out a way to get his queen to H4, but there is none. Knight drills in there perfectly. The idea we're going for is we want to play G5 and dig into all of these important squares in perfect harmony with the bishop. He's plays C5 now. All right, I don't know what he's doing. I'm just going to throw G5 in. Bishop is going to come to D3. I could also play Knight C3, F6. That should not be good. We're going to take here. Thanks very much, buddy. Opening up the whole position. I'll gladly take that. Okay, here, which way should the knight go? Should the knight go to G5 or E5? This is a wild position here. Let me put the bishop on D3 first. I'll choose later. Both of these squares look nice. I'm leaning toward G5. G5 would make more sense. If I play Knight G5, I'm immediately... That is such a slow move. He can't be getting away with a move like that. There's no... Like, literally, look at this. I have like 5 pieces pointed at his king. There is no way this is going to work. Get the coffin ready, people. It's time to nail Black's coffin. All right, I'm playing Knight H7. A really cheeky move. Okay, yeah, he's now he's getting sent to the doghouse for this one. What is it, doghouse or bounce house? Or haunted house? Let me know in the comments, which term do you guys prefer? This has to be completely over. Just check, he has to drop his queen. Definitely the end of the game. 100% the end of the game. This is not a move that anyone would want to make. Okay, perfect, 12:31. We're getting up there. Let's play F4. Continuing on our way up. Knight F3. Everything's looking good. Okay, so this is what I've talked a lot about. After Knight C6 immediately, we want to be careful about E4 because they can play D5. But once you've gotten Knight F3 in, if they continue to ignore you, then it's probably time to play E4. All right, I'm just going to keep taking more and more of the center. He better put a pawn there soon. This is his last chance. This is your last chance, pal. I'm serial. I'm super serial. Okay, D5 we can take now and play E5, and we have a wonderful pawn structure there. In general, when you get pawns like this, guys, I want everyone in the class taking notes, especially you guys in the back who've been fooling around and shooting spitballs. Got to be serious now. Really important idea here at the moment. We have 4 pawns here. A classic idea is to take, he's going to take back and get this wonderful pawn chain. If you can get a pawn majority of 4 against 3 on the king side with the pawn already far advanced on E5, normally that's close to winning. Like I bet you if we put this in the computer after the game, it's going to say that this is close to winning. His only hope in such positions is to groove his minor pieces immediately into the light squares in front of these pawns. As we can see though, he's moved his bishop to the wrong diagonal for that. His bishop would need to be able to come out to F5 immediately to be able to put up a fight. This e-pawn, this is something I learned when I was almost around GM levels, that pretty much, when you get a pawn to E5 like this, in almost every single position, you're just much better. If you have an extra e-pawn and they have like an extra c-pawn, if you've somehow or another made this trade, it's unbelievably strong for the side with the e-pawn. All right, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? Let me play bishop d3. f6, let's castle. He's trying to give me another pawn, I guess. He better watch out. This could easily become a pin. And that pin could become the win. Yeah, because he's castled queenside, I didn't even pay that any attention, but that's actually a very good move for him to castle queenside. That was very good intuition on his part. If he castled kingside, this e-pawn would have just meant a winning attack already. His position is still a bit uncomfortable here, and white is definitely still in the driver's seat, but at least here, his king is not getting mated. Like, essentially, I still have this nice pawn offensive. I'm still going to be able to keep throwing my pawns forward and getting a lot of play and getting a lot of space for my great pieces. But by the same token, at least he's not getting checkmated here. I'm going to have to win with these pawns and these pawns alone. No checkmates today, pal. All right, we got these two fantastic pawns here. E5, F5. This is a dream position. Dream position today. H4, that cannot be good. H4 definitely cannot be good. Let's play bishop F4 here. And throw in E6. Throw in E6, throw in knight B5. This position is just a disaster for black already. I see what he's going for though. I thought he was going for the H3 bishop B7 medley. It's a bit too late for that though. Let's play E6, kick the queen, getting more space, also unleashing my bishop on this pawn. The plan is now to take and then play knight B5, hitting the bishop and the pawn. Having a really great position here. Queen C6. Queen C6, there should be other issues. I mean, at the very least, I can take and play knight B5, and rook C1 is an enormous threat there. I was thinking, though, after queen C6, bishop B5 practically traps the queen. I have so many good moves in this position. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I could play knight E5, knight F7. That would also be fantastic. Knight takes, knight B5. I don't know. I don't like that position that much. That should be winning. Oh, that is completely winning, actually. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Takes, knight B5. This is threatening not one, not two, but three things. This is the really serious check. Knight B5 is going to come with a vengeance. It's time for black to pay. This is what happens. He treated the bird like a joke. He played this joke opening. And he got sent straight to the doghouse. Straight to the doghouse or the birdhouse. But pretty much, yeah, we're back. Sorry, I was trying to click through that whole game. Really full of the energy. I had like 5 coffees today. Definitely drank way too much coffee. But, you know, life runs on caffeine. That's what they say. Attacking C7, attacking D4, attacking A7. I've tried so many different moments in my life to try to quit caffeine. It's just never going to happen. It's too much. It's too good a compliment to work. And I don't mean like the compliment. It's a compliment to work. It's like a nice. It's like the perfect combination, like work plus coffee, the perfect mix. Let's just take this. Just scoop up the piece. I could have also taken on C7, which would have been nice. Taking on A7 would have also been good. There's so many good options in this position. I could have taken, he plays king B8 and then played bishop B5, attacking the queen and digging my knight into C6. All right, let's play bishop B5 here. Disastrous position for him. He plays C6, I take, check. My bishops are slicing through like a pair of scissors. And if he blocks with the bishop, rook C1 is soon going to be mate. Unbelievably uncomfortable position for him at the moment. Okay. He dropped it. It's time to go. Throw in the check, the classic 2-bishop check, checkmate. Pawn is covering the last escape square. And we're keeping it moving. It's time to go.
Fantastically.
Time to go.
Match of the day. Why you? No, don't
It's
interrupt.
time to go.
Don't interrupt me.
It's time to go.
Don't interrupt. Look at you. Can't even
It's
speak.
time to go.
You can't even speak. Before.
It's time to go.
What are you?
I gotta get up to 1250. I'm really excited to get to 1250. Okay. Very uncomfortable check there. Never the check that anyone wants to see. His only move is this, and then it's just mate in 1. All right, nice, perfect. 1238, let's go. Let's get it done. E4, C5. Yeah, so I said this before in the other video. Let me know if you want me to switch out the Taimanov, because the Taimanov is the least tied to this actual speedrun. It's just something I used because it's a recommendation against the king pawn. But it's yeah, I'm really open to playing anything. E5, French, Caro-Kann. Never seen knight F3 in my life before. That cannot be good. Let's play knight F6. If he plays E5, I'm going to take. He takes. It looks like I dropped a piece, but I could play queen A5. All right, well, here queen A5 looks very good. Let's throw the check in, hit the bishop, hit the king, and most importantly, get out of the pin, so now knight takes E4 is a real threat. He has to move his bishop back and make a completely backwards counterproductive move, and then I'll play queen B6. Attacking this, still attacking this. Maybe he could play knight c3 here. Bishop e3 isn't going to work. I'm going to take. I'm taking the pawn, pal. It's time to go. Knight d2, I can play knight b4. A wild position here. Really wild position. And I'm realizing actually though, knight b4, I'm sort of misfiring my knight. He'll play rook c1 and I won't have anything. For instance, if I take on a2, he plays rook b1, he boots my queen out. All of a sudden I might have some issues. It's better just to keep my knight well placed. It's covering some important squares in the center. Let's just liberate the position with d5. Nothing could be the matter here. If I'm up a pawn and I've exchanged off his dominant e4 pawn, I have nothing to complain about in any Sicilian. Not even the Taimanov. And it's time to go. Knight c4, that's a cheeky move. We could play bishop e4, he'll play bishop d2. Instead, let's take here first with the threat to the queen, thereby protecting my queen. If he takes here, I like throwing this check in first. He's doing that. Now, how should I respond? If I play bishop b4, yeah, let's play bishop b4, why not? Actually, I'm not sure. Queen c3 would also make sense. I like queen c3 more, actually. My bishop might be better placed somewhere else. It's not like it has to go to b4. So here, if he had gone, I think he had to go king f2 in that position. Because now at least I can't really attack his king, but here his pieces are just very ugly, and now his knight cannot enter in with a check. His queen is no longer defending that square, so it's the perfect time to play b5. b5, the knight is kicked. I'm going to take on e3. This knight is also trapped. Wow, yeah, he is in a lot of trouble. He is in enormous trouble here at the moment. Knight can't really go anywhere. If it goes to any of these squares, it's hanging. Knight is trapped in the middle of the board. Also, e3 is going to be hanging as well. He would love to play queen f3 with the counterattack against my knight. The only problem there is that then he's dropping a full mango on a1. So all in all, nothing makes sense here. How much time are we at? We're at 22 minutes currently in the recording. I'm trying to spread these speedruns out a bit. I'm trying to make them a little bit longer. Make them be like 30 minutes each. Let me know, guys. Do you like these as 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes? Yeah, as I've said before, it's generally easier for me to record a bit less, so I would prefer to do the shorter ones, but I'm fine putting out a lot. I'm fine putting out the content that people like. I'm fine putting out the content that people want. I'm a man of the people. I'm the bird master. All right, knight b6, that does not really do anything. Just take, I guess he's gonna take this pawn here. That's not gonna solve any of his problems though. We could take on e3. Take on e3 would be fine. I wanna break this pin though. This pin is very annoying. Let's play bishop d7. Let's play bishop d7. I'm going to take on e3. Just take some more things with check. I need to be a little careful at the moment because my king is a bit exposed in the center here. But as long as I make some accurate moves, I should be completely winning. I'm just way too close to castling here. He's not going to be able to maroon my king in the center. If he plays something like knight c4, for instance, he wants to put his knight in on d6, trade the bishop off, and then install his queen on that good square. So what I can do instead is play just queen d4, keeping an eye on the knight, but most importantly, blocking this diagonal. Not this diagonal, sorry, this file. That's what I care about, the file. Wow, actually, after queen f3, this is not so simple. Yeah, queen f3, he's going to be playing rook d1. This is actually looking like a mess. Okay, fortunately, I don't need to demonstrate any of that. That would have been a wild position. All right. I'm going to play bishop takes d4. I'm hitting his rook. His rook moves into d1. I'll play e5. He gets a check. He gets a few scary checks, but without queens on the board, I can't really be worried. His knight is also hanging now. He timed the check the wrong way. He should have done the check after rook d1. Now his knight is hanging and his rook is hanging, and it's time to go. It's time to go. Knight f7. Okay, if I take, he takes this. That is definitely simple enough. Yeah, let's go for it. I'm going to take, he takes here, and I can get my bishop out of the way while blocking the rook's coverage on the f-file. His knight is trapped here. He's going to be down a second piece. And I have great news, everyone. It's time to go. Rook d1. I'll just take. Yeah, really not much to talk about here. He's down, yeah, he's just down 2 pieces. Very simple plan. I'll probably put my rook on a8 or c8, one of these open files, figure out a way to trade the bishops and start picking up these apples on the c and a files. We got to get it moving. We got to go apple picking. I like knight d4 even more though. Knight d4, especially now that the c-pawn is moved, he can never move his pawn to c3, kicking out the knight on d4. He takes, I'll just take back with the king, play e5, play king d6. Bishop a6, that's an interesting move. We'll play rook a8, force the bishop around. Bishop goes to b7, I'll take on a2. He's in quite the predicament here. Bishop b5. I can either trade and keep my knight, my fantastic knight, or I can trade and get 2 bishops. I normally like the bishops more, so I'll go for the bishops. He'll probably try rook b1. I'll take on a2. If he takes here, I have mate. Okay, trading off the rooks. Nice. What are we at now? 1245. 1245. Gran Maestro Desconocido. This translates to Grandmaster Stranger. F4. This is like a poor bird, because now we play d5 and immediately break the pawns up. It's not a good bird. F4 is known to be a very bad version of a Sicilian. Knight f3. Let's pop the bishop out to g4, pinning this knight. Yeah, this is just a supercharged Caro-Kann pretty much. This is normally a structure you get in the Caro-Kann, except you haven't burned a move on c6 to go to c5. Now, how do we get this knight to f5, though? That's the big question. Let's put the knight on e7. Knight is going to come to f5. I didn't want to put my knight on h6, because if I put my knight on h6, he can play g4 and sort of lock me out. I'm thinking about that position now, though. Actually, that would have been fine. Knight h6, g4, I could have popped in for a visit with my queen to h4 and had a fantastic structural grip. Knight is fantastic on f5. Okay, well, that just should lose. We're throwing the check in. King has to move. I'm going to check and then scoop up the mango. It's mango scooping day, pal. It's time to go. Taking. Yeah, this is looking tough for him. Queen f3. All right, I'll take. Play knight d4. Hit the bishop and the pawn. It's looking tough. Takes. Okay, he's going for that. Castle queenside, just dodged the fork. Yeah, this game is going relatively quickly. He is playing extremely fast, as I am. So this game is certainly going to be it's going to be resolved way sooner than a normal rapid game would. Taking everything. I'm up way too much material here. I'm just taking the whole house. I've literally taken like 5 pawns. And what am I going to do here? I'm always preferential toward just playing against the bishop at all times. I don't want to allow d6 though, so I'm going to play king d7 first. But the idea is we're going to play h6, g5. I guess I have to play h5 here to reinforce the knight. But I'll play f6, g5 and start pushing the bishop back. He is in a lot of trouble here. I'm interested in what's going through my opponent's heads when they're playing these games, because it's obvious that they're playing someone much stronger than a normal 1200. So what are they thinking about? Let's play rook e8. This is one of my favorite things to do. Just keep attacking the bishop. If you have a rook and they don't, and they have a bishop, just start attacking the bishop with your rook. And until the bishop can find a place where it's defended by a pawn, such as this square, it's going to be a target. It's going to be a prime target. All right. Nice. What are we at now? We are at 29 minutes. All right, so we're going to end here. This was day number 29. We're up to 12:54. Very excited for how today went. Check in the future for day number 30. I would hope to be breaking 1300 soon, so that would be cool. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all later. And yeah, thanks for watching.